Alright everyone, what's up? It's your boy K Natsuki here, back at it again with one last what if. Now as I said, I'm ending 3 series, so I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to make this one if I get rid of others, so yeah. I know all ya will probably be attacking me like friggin' barbarians in the comments going, but, I want you to finish this one. Wait, where's part 2 of this series? Wait, I thought you were gonna do 10 Tales. Shut up! Okay? Just please understand that this is a series I came up with a dream last night. It was a very awkward dream, but overall, it gave me the idea for this series. Now, pretty much this picture, it's just to mask what if is, because I want y'all to, well, actually get into the what if and watch it the entire way to understand what it is. And yes, I did not put the name on for a reason. So yeah, well, I did not put the full name on it for a reason. So yeah, let's begin. As Naruto and his buds are, hold on. Naruto and Sasuke and trash can and the pink trash can are fighting against and God right here. Basically, they're fighting off against a goddess. Which, if you go into Google, as I said before in one of my other what ifs, if you go into Google and type in Kaguya Tsuki, it will show that one of her aliases is God Almighty. No, I'll do it right now if you guys don't believe me. Okay, so or in the second what if, because I'll need in the second part. So, because I'll need you guys to, watch this one. As anywho, Naruto and his buds are battling off against Kaguya, and this is like before their ceiling attack. As Naruto charges up a giant Rasengan, Sasuke charges a purple Chidori, and Sakura and Uselessness tries to punch from above. Tries to punch her. As Kaguya no, in this, Naruto and Sasuke, they are not just they're not exactly the reincarnations of Indra and Ashura. More or like they're the reincarnation of Hagoromo and Hamura. This, of course, scares her because she can handle a fight against her grandchildren's reincarnations, not her children's reincarnations. As Kakashi is also there. So, yeah. She knows that she will be beaten, unless she then thinks of a plan. As she then opens four portals, and basically she decides, I'm not gonna kill them because I do not want to fight them. Instead, I'm going to send them out to different dimensions or basically universes, and then I'm gonna seal those dimensions or universes away so no one can enter or exit them ever again. As she then says, alright. As she then, pretty much, she opens 4 portals. And she basically opens one underneath opens one and puts Kakashi in it, opens another, puts Sasuke in it, opens another, puts Naruto in it, and opens another and puts Uselessness in it. Now, allow me to explain where these 4 portals led. They led to each different universes. As Kakashi, he's friggin' teleported into the High School DxD universe. As he just basically is Now, as he was doing a Chidori, he was portaled through as he was about to hit her, and they were all about to hit her as she opened the portals. So yeah, he was doing a regular blue Chidori, and he ends up basically breaking Issei's back and punching him through a whole bunch of walls. As we go to Sasuke, who basically he was freaking brought to the Pokemon universe. Yes, he was brought to Pokemon. As Sasuke, basically, the next thing he knows is he is pretty much falls right on top of Ash Ketchum. As he's just like, the fudge? Where am I? As Sakura, she is teleported into the Dragon Ball universe. Now, she's falling through the sky right as the events of pretty much Zamazu was cut in half and then turned into that giant weird thing of faces laughing and surrounding the entire planet. As just as Omni King appeared and was preparing a ginormous laser beam, Sakura was opened right above that laser beam and friggin' got erased out of existence. So yes, no more uselessness. As for Naruto, he was summoned. He was basically pulled into teleported into the Kung Fu Panda world. Yes, this is what if Naruto was in Kung Fu Panda. Now, allow me to explain. Naruto and Sasuke were in these forms, as these are their god forms, pretty much. As I said, they're the reincarnations of Hamura and Hagoromo. Naruto looks like this in his god form. As, by the way, these god forms are each about 100 stories tall. So yeah, as Naruto fall is pretty much another thing in this what if that I forgot to mention. You see, when you see Kushina, she was not pregnant exactly. Well, I mean, she does get pregnant, but not with Minato's child. As pretty much Kurama creates Naruto by, basically putting chakra about putting a lot of chakra into Kushina, the chakra mixing with her chakra, and then Kurama and then the chakra begins to be molded into a humanoid state. Now, of course, Naruto still being human, pretty much all of that Kurama chakra was sealed away. However, when Naruto reached the human world, and when Naruto was brought to the Kung Fu Panda world, something unexpected happened. As Naruto would be falling and would basically be falling as he would interact with Chi. Yes, there's Chi in the Kung Fu Panda world. As Naruto would feel this power radiating throughout his entire body, as it would affect him completely differently, as there's no humans in the Kung Fu Panda universe, and, well, Chi was basically created by animals, and is a life source of power for animals. As the Chi would merge with his chakra, pretty much destroying the humane side of him. As Naruto's Fox chakra would take over. well, it would begin to take over slowly. As Naruto would grow fox ears and 9 fox tails, as he would pretty much fall in the back and basically the training room. I'm the training area of the Furious Five. Yes, in the training hall. Now everyone was pretty much training. Well, they were training students, as this is after the events of Kung Fu Panda 3, okay, guys? So, yeah. Now Tigress was pretty much overseeing the whole thing, as then she would see. She and the others were overseeing the training for students, as then they would see, well, a black portal open up. Well, not exactly, as they'd see a orange sort of thing falling from the sky, or a yellowish orangish thing falling from the sky. As yes, Naruto does still have his god form, just he can use it along with his chakra. Just now he slowly is not becoming human. As his yes, basically in this, his father is Kurama. As Kurama created Naruto, but Naruto basically Kurama's orange hair mixed with the red hair and mixed with Kushina's red hair, and it was kind of an opposite effect. As Naruto's hair would be yellow, they would think it's Minato's, but in reality it was not. For Naruto was Kurama's. As Naruto would have the fox whiskers, and would have the whiskers like Canon, but yeah, he would not be. Kurama would not try to take over Naruto a lot less. In fact, not at all. As right around the age of 3, Kurama would befriend Naruto, as he would pretty much try teaching Naruto how to use chakra. More importantly, how to use his chakra. As Naruto could not use his fox chakra because, well, his human chakra sort of locked that away. As, yeah, now it's accessible. As Naruto would be falling and with 9 fox tails and 2 fox ears falling from the sky as he would crash through the training hall. As Tigress would say, "What the? What was that? What was that?" As the other 4 would, and as Shifu would then say, "Well, I don't know." "Oh, why don't you go to it?" As Po would be here with his 4 students, as he'd say, "Okay, approach it slowly or fast, sir. Fast, Master Shifu." As Shifu would say, "Well, I don't know. Just go near it." As Po would begin walking towards it, as so the other members of the 5. As they would begin walking over towards Naruto, as they would see Naruto in that giant green turtle bowl-shaped thing. Basically, I'm pretty sure that's where monkey trains, or is it Crane that trains in there? But Yeah, pretty much it's like a green, sort of weird terracotta, and it's like a green jade terracotta bowl thing that they train in. As Naruto would have fallen in that thing, as it would have cracked. Actan made a dent in the floor. As Naruto would just say, "Oh, what in the..." As he'd say, "Am I daydreaming or are you all animals?" As they'd say, "Hey, who are you? Who are you and where are you from? Are you evil? Are you a bad guy?" I said Poe. As, well, Poe would say, "Are you a bad guy?" As Tigress would say, "Poe." As Poe would say, "Sorry." As Naruto would then say, "Bad guy? Evil? Villain? No, 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 no. I'm not bad at all. My name's Naruto Uzumaki. I'm a... My name's Naruto. I'm a good guy." As Poe and as they then say, "So, how'd you get here? And where are you from?" As Naruto would then say, "I'm guessing I'm from another dimension." As I was pretty much fighting against a evil goddess, and she opened 4 portals, sending me and my 4 friends to 4 different dimensions. As I'm pretty sure, that she locked the way in and out, so I can't go back to my dimension. As Naruto then said, "Allow me to explain where I'm from." As he would pretty much go to the, I guess it's like a type of relaxation pool, or like a pond. Pretty much there's this giant area in the Jade Palace where there is a pool or pond of sorts that's right above a giant golden Chinese dragon. As Naruto would be in, would basically sit down in front of the pool or pond, as he would say, my full name is Naruto Uzumaki, as I am from the village of Konoha, or the Leaf Village. As in my world, there are things called ninja, or shinobi. I am one of the best guys there. However, I was born completely different, and I was hated for it. As they would all say, "What do you mean, born different?" As Naruto would say, I was born with a... How can I explain this? As he'd say, Kurama, as in a giant... And as then a fiery tornado of a fox would then pop out. As it would basically look like... Well, no, not a fiery tornado of a fox. As a fox that was basically Kurama, except in his small child baby form. His chibi form would come out. As he would say, "I am Kurama no Kitsune. As where I'm from, I'm one of the most powerful beings to exist. And I am sealed within Naruto. I'm Naruto's friend. However, where I'm from, I'm called a demon." As pretty much Naruto would then say, me and my friends were fighting off against a goddess, as Naruto would then say, basically my grandmother. As then Naruto would say, he's kind of, well, I'm the reincarnation of a god named Hagoromo. Kind of, in a way, that is my, I guess you could say, reincarnation's mother. I'm the reincarnation of a guy who is the son of her. As, yeah. And where am I? Naruto would say, as they would say, you are in the Valley of Peace in China. As Naruto would say, I'm guessing that's some sort of village. As they would say, yes. China is our whole realm. As you look, and as you have just been brought to China. As Naruto would then say, so, do you guys have chakra here? As they then say, what in the world is chakra? As he'd say, a powerful life energy which everything has. Basically, with it, you can control the elements and create hundreds, maybe even thousands of infinite types of abilities and superpowers. As Naruto would then say, do you have any areas where I can, that are like widespread and nothing ever happens? As they'd say, yes. As they would bring Naruto to a giant valley, as he'd say, behold my god form. As Naruto would not need to do hand signs as, well, actually, yeah, he would have to do hand signs as Naruto, hold on, god darn, what does this person want? Oh, it appears someone who wants me to do another. Do I need to just delete another 3 series because I want to do this? I'll do another part of that. But yeah. Sorry, I know one of you guys doesn't like me doing the switching tabs, so sorry about that. But yeah, anyways, Naruto would do hand signs as he would then say, behold. As then, oh, by the way, this is not like a giant chakra form. No, this is like Naruto actually expands his entire body and becomes made of chakra. As he then would transform into this. As he would then say, hey, I can also deactivate this form. As he would do the hand signs and shrink back down to his mortal form. As he would then turn back into this. As he'd then say, and as Naruto would then say, yeah. So, do you guys have anything to eat here? Maybe some ramen? Like, do you have any ramen? As, of course, Naruto would ask about ramen, as they would say, what is ramen? We have noodles, if, and we don't have that, this ramen stuff, but my dad, he, as Poe would say, my dad has a and has a noodle shop. He serves dumplings there, bean buns, anything you can eat. Anything you can eat. As Naruto would then say, noodles. As he would then, and as his ears would perk up, and Naruto's 9 tails would begin to swerve and wave around on their own. As Naruto would then say, where? Where? As Po would then say, over here. As he'd then say, first, can you walk down a lot of stairs? As Naruto would then say, why? As then he would pretty much open, he'd pretty much open the doors to the Jade Palace, and then Naruto would see it. What appeared to be a billion stairs, and a staircase of a billion stairs, just all going down. As he'd say, oh jeez. As Naruto would then begin using chakra on his feet, as he'd then say, well, as he would pretty much enhance his feet with chakra and just blast off. As he would be running down all the stairs, and Po would be thinking, how on earth is he not, and how in the world is he not tripping and on the stairs and falling down? As Po would then say, wait up! As Po would then basically begin moving around, and he would go into his golden dragon form, as he would then pretty much float down the stairs, and he'd basically fly downwards, gliding over the stairs. As Naruto would then say, so he has the power to turn into a dragon. Nice. As Naruto would be down with Po, as he'd say, now, where is your father? As he'd say, he's basically my adopted dad, but my other dad, works with him, as he'd say, over there. As Naruto would see Pang's noodle shop, as he'd say, do you have any noodles? As he'd say, I want 300 bowls. As Naruto, and as Po would then say, 300 bowls. Do you have any idea how many noodles that is? As Naruto would then say, that's over 1,000. That's over 1,000. And he said that's over 3,000 calories, and I want 100 bowls. As then Pang would say, well, you best be able to pay, mister. As you best be able to pay, mister. As yes, that is my Pang voice, and my Mr. Pang voice. Okay, so yeah, tell me in the comments if you want me to keep doing it during this series or not. As Mr. Pang would say, hey, well, do you have any idea how much money that will cost? As then Naruto would say, here. As he would pretty much open and as he would pretty much just begin creating money out of thin air. As Naruto would say, is this much for? Is this enough? As then Pang would say, holy. I suppose this will do. 100 bowls coming right up. As Pang would begin making the noodles. As we skip 1 hour later to the point where Po would be coming in and out of the shop up about 10 times, each with 10 bowls in his hands. As suddenly the entire shop, no one would be able to enter the entire shop because there'd be bowls everywhere. As then Naruto would say thank you, as he would then begin speed eating. He'd be like Super Saiyan, just devouring everything. And he'd be like a Saiyan eating everything. As Naruto would use his 9 tails like arms, along with his real arm, and along with his arms, to grab bowls as he began scarfing down the noodles, the broth, and everything else. As the next thing you know, 10 minutes would pass, and 100 empty bowls would be all around the places. He'd say, "Thank you, Mr. Peng," as Peng would say, "Holy, how on earth, how on earth do you even eat that many bowls of noodles?" As then Po would say, "I can't even eat that many bowls. I can't even eat that many bowls." As then a fat panda would begin walking and would basically begin walking down the stairs as he would then say, "I can't even eat that many bowls." As this would be Li Po's father and his birth father. As then Naruto would say, "Yeah, I eat a lot. I know." As he then, as then, and Naruto said, "Now can you bring me 1,000 more?" As then Li, Peng, and Po would all open their eyes extremely wide, with their mouths open, and say, "A thousand? There's no way on earth you're able to eat 1,000 bowls." As Naruto said, "I just ate 100 bowls in 10 minutes. Bring me 1,000. As they would be wondering, where on earth did Naruto get this giant appetite for noodles? As Kurama would be inside Naruto's mindscape, as pretty much most of half of which Naruto ate would be brought into the mindscape, as Kurama would just be and would basically have made a bowl out of Naruto's mind, as he would be filling it up with every single ounce of the noodles, as he'd say, "I need 500 more bowls. You can have the other 500. As Naruto would say, "I want 1,000 bowls." And that's how, well, that would begin. As we skip 10 hours later, it would now be around 6 in the morning, 6 in the afternoon. No, 5 in the afternoon. As there would then be 1,000 bowls, which was enough to cover the whole village. As Naruto's tails would extend to the length of Kurama's tails. As with each of his tails, he would begin carrying 10 bowls, as he would then begin speed eating. And the next thing you know, within 100 minutes, there would be no more. All the bowls would be empty. As in Naruto's mindscape, Kurama's giant bowl would be full, as Kurama would begin eating and say, "Delicious." As Naruto would say, "Alright, I think that's enough for today." As then Mr. Peng then said, "Today, I think that's enough to last you a whole 10 year. As then Naruto said, "Nope, I need a lot of noodles. And I need a lot of noodles." As then Mr. Pang would say, "Jesus, kid, how many noodles do you need?" As then Naruto would say, I need 1,000. I need 1,000 each day." As then he'd say, "We are going to need a lot of flour and noodles. And we're going to need a lot of radishes, a lot of spices, and a lot of noodles." As Pang would then say, "Luckily that kid gave us And luckily, he gave us enough money to pay for 24 shipments of that, as that should be enough for a week. And with all that money which we will get, we should be able to sustain him. As Po then said, yes, it's just I have no idea how any living being could be able to eat that many noodles. As Naruto would pretty much then say, alright, now who wants to spar? As then Po would say, I and my 4 students will spar with you. As Naruto then said, you have students? Okay. Are they strong? As then Po would say, they're the strongest. They defeated a demon queen, and they defeated a demon empress, and basically a god. As I myself have defeated a demon lord, a Mongolian fist demon, and let's see, pretty much I defeated a lot of evils. As then he would say, alright kids, let's begin fighting, and let's begin to train. As, hold on, as then 4 pandas would walk to a battlefield, which was far away, and as the 4 would, everyone would begin walking away from the Valley of Peace, as they would say, due to you being some sort of destructive god, we do not want to destroy the whole Valley of Peace and everything else while training. So, as then Po would say, skadoosh, as everyone would begin before this, everyone would begin holding hands, including Naruto, as then Po would pretty much skadoosh all of them. All of them away, as, pretty much they would be brought to the spirit realm, as then a green turtle wearing a golden robe would then say, Po, there you are. There you are, Po. So, what brings you to the spirit realm? As then Po said, just some training, a little bit of sparring. As then as Uguay would then say, well, why are you sparring here? Well, why are you sparring here? As then Po said, and as he said, why are you sparring here and not the mortal realm? As then Po said, well, we kinda have a genuine god from another realm here. We don't want to destroy the mortal realm. So yeah. As then and as then Uwe would say, fair enough. Fair enough. So you and your students will be sparring against him? As they then said, yeah. As then he said, okay. But if this supposed god shows anything that is worthy, I will fight again. I will spar against him. As then he said, okay, Master Uguay. As then Po and his students would begin pretty much charging up their chi. As then Bao, this panda, would begin charging up his purple chi of the black tortoise. As then Fantong would begin charging up his red chi of the phoenix. Another red phoenix. Jing would begin charging up her white chi of the white tiger, and New High would begin charging up her chi of the blue dragon. As Po would begin charging up his golden chi of the Dragon Master. Oh wait, that part's not for now. As then Naruto would say, "Alright, let's begin." As Naruto would then sort of go into a semi-god form, which is his god form, but not 100 feet tall. As pretty much it only looks like a outline of but an outline is surrounding him. An outline of chakra is surrounding him. As Naruto then said, "This is my semi-god form, so let's fight." As pretty much Bao would basically create a turtle shell to try and hold Naruto captive. As Naruto would then say, okay then. As Naruto would then say, "Eat this." As he'd then say, "Rasengan! Rasengan! I'm Rasengan." And he would break through the purple turtle shell. As then Bao would say, "Oh, what? Not fair." As Bao would then begin using and would use Chi Blasts to try and fight off against Naruto. As Naruto would be using his staff, as you can see here, it's the Sun Staff. He would be using it and he'd basically be spinning around and deflecting his attacks. As then Fantong would say, "Hiya," as he would create a red phoenix sword and a red chi sword and try to attack Naruto from behind. As right now, since this is not his full-on god form, Naruto would still have his 9 tails. As then his 9 tails would basically block the sword. As Naruto would then say, "Hiya." As then Naruto would then say, "Bijudama," and Bijudama, as he'd then charge up a Biju Bomb and blast at Fantong. As Fantong would basically jump away, and would basically blast it away into a temple, and into a floating temple. As then Jing would say, "How about this?" As she would basically, her eyes would glow white, as I'm pretty sure she has like some sort of time-stopping ability, or something like that. As she would basically be preparing white chi blasts and trying to find Naruto's weak spots. As well, Naruto would then say a fire, and would basically use hand signs, and then he'd do a fireball. As he would, and a great fireball jutsu, as he would then blast at Jing with a fireball. As she'd then say, "Ow." As then New High would then say, "Take this." As she would basically barrage Naruto with blue chi blasts. As then Naruto would say, "Too easy," and would basically say, "Hey, you four are very strong, however you're no match for me." As Naruto would basically then say a Rasengan, Vermilion Rasengan, which you create I believe it's red Rasengan in his hands, as he would then slap it right on. As he'd use it and slap it basically on her chest. As New High would be blasted into a floating tree. As Po would then say, "Ho, Wow. Well, that's strong. Well then. Hiya. As Po would pretty much power up his golden chi, and he would begin firing golden chi blasts, and he would be in his golden dragon outline form, which you can see in the third Kung Fu Panda movie. As Po would then say, take this, and that, and some of this, and some of that. As he would be shooting golden chi blasts, and also chi lasers. As he would then say, how about this? As he would then create 1,000 golden chains out of his golden chi. As he'd say, hiya. As Naruto would begin deflecting the chains. As then Po would say, it's over. As he, well, this'll be a cinch. As then he'd say, hey, behold, my final attack. And behold, as then Po would begin blitzing him in kung fu and strength. As then Naruto would basically be evenly matching Po's kung fu with his taijutsu. As he would say, huh, so you have a fighting style too? Well, it's a lot different than taijutsu, but it's strong, I'll give you that. As Po and Naruto would basically be clashing and floating in the sky. As Oogway would be overseeing this battle, and he'd say, now I want a piece of it. Now I want in on the action. As then Oogway would summon his staff, as he would say, hiya! And he would create he'd basically kick Naruto in the back, as Naruto would be sent flying. As Naruto would then say, huh? Well, do you want to see my true power? Well, you must be the turtle Oogway. Would you like to see my true power? As Oogway would say, of course. As then Naruto would say, behold. As he would then begin glowing, as Naruto would then do the hand signs, and he would become 100 stories tall, with the truth-seeking orbs behind him, as he would say, behold, I am Naruto, behold, the power of a god, the power of a god, the power of Hagoromo. As pretty much Naruto would say, and would basically be battling against Oogway, as Oogway would say, it appears you are strong. But are you strong enough to best me? As he then say, how about this? As Oogway would begin spinning his staff and create a whole bunch of whirlwinds, like dragons made of wind. As Naruto would basically be deflecting Oogway's attacks, as he'd then say, how about this? As Naruto would then would basically morph his truth-seeking orbs into sorts of daggers and kunais and swords, as he'd say, have at thee. As 9 black daggers and swords, swords and kunais would be floating and would basically be flying towards Oogway. As Oogway would say, this should be easy. As he would then knock back the weapons, as they would then hit some random things. As Oogway could then see that the things they hit were disintegrating into chakra, as he'd then say, "Oh, well, that's dangerous." As Oogway and Naruto would begin fighting for a couple of hours. As then Naruto would basically feel a strain of chakra on him, as he'd then say, "Ah!" And he would go back into his mortal form, as he would fall down onto a temple, and then he'd begin shrieking, as then his humane skin would begin to burn off, as then orange fur would begin to go where his skin was, as his tails would become a lot more furry and orange. As then Naruto would become like this, as he'd say, "Oh, what happened?" As then suddenly a orange spiral of flame would be right next to Naruto. As then, hold on, as a giant orange, well, not giant, a orange fox, a humanoid orange fox with 9 tails, would basically appear out of a circle of red flames, as he would then say, "Finally, I wondered when it would finally happen, and it appears that my son is finally a full-on fox." As then they'd say, "Huh? I thought you were only sealed in that boy." And as Poe would then say, "I thought you were only sealed in him." As then, and Oogway would say, "The legendary Kyube? The 9-tailed fox god? I'm sorry for, I'm sorry for not bowing, my lord." As Oogway would be bowing, as the others would then be wondering, "Huh?" Now, if you're wondering, pretty much, Kurama is one of the 13 gods of the world of the world of Kung Fu Panda. As Kurama is believed to be the raiser of mountains, the creator of the creator of the ocean, the maker of clouds, the grower of trees, and the bringer of life and bringer of death. As Kurama is known as one of the most powerful gods, as this is why Oogway is now bowing to him. As Kurama would then say, "I take no offense for you not recognizing who I am." As Kurama then said, Ed, "This is my son." As then Poe would say, "Wait, I thought you were only sealed in him." As then he would say, "It wasn't exactly like that at first. Allow me to explain." As he'd then explain how he was sealed inside of a mortal woman named Kushina, and he had a child with her. The child, however, had yellow hair and looked like a human, as they thought of him to be a human. They thought of him as a human's child, and they thought he was full human, and that only a tiny bit of Kurama's chakra slipped out and created the fox whiskers. As he then said, "Now for many years, that part of me was locked away. However, the second we came here, I realized that this place having chi, which is a animal, and which is basically a resource only available to beings of this realm, and, well, basically, she, it basically, that she overwhelmed Naruto's human chakra and basically broke free some of his fox chakra, thus allowing the fox side to take over slowly. And now he is completely taken over. And now Naruto is finally full fox, as I've finally been waiting for it to take over. As Naruto would wake up and say, Kurama, what happened? As Kurama would basically begin and using his power over wind, because yes, I just read it, Kurama apparently has the power to manipulate wind and fire, as he can create tornadoes and fireballs out of his mouth. As Kurama would begin manipulating the wind, and he would basically be bringing a whole bunch of tiny parts of the spirit realm, like just broken parts of temples and trees, as he would then begin fixing the spirit realm, as he would create a ginormous temple, which Naruto would notice had a symbol of a nine-tailed fox on it, as he said, "This is my temple, and you are my son." As he would explain the whole thing to Naruto, as Naruto would say, "Holy, is that why you weren't trying to take over my body when I first met you?" As Kurama then said, "Yes, of course." As Naruto, and as Kurama would then say, now, now we are, I guess, in our original home, and to make things better, you are finally in your full original form. As Naruto would say, "Okay, Dad." "Okay, Dad." As he would basically begin snuggling up to Kurama, as Kurama would then just laugh like, perfect. As then suddenly a sort of change in the wind would happen. As then a monkey would appear. This, of course, being the legendary Sun Wukong. As Sun Wukong would say, "Ah, there. Alright, let's see here. Is this the old broken down temple of Korra?" As he would then see the temple was completely fixed, as he'd say, "Never mind. Is this the temple of Kurama?" As then Kurama would say, "Of course this is my temple. Of course this is my temple. Why on earth? Why else would you think it's not?" As then Sun Wukong would then basically gulp, like, as he would then say, "Master Kurama, you're back. Lord Kurama, you're back." As he would then say, "Hey, that's right, I'm back. And my son is here with me." As he'd then say, "There's another, fox lord?" As he'd then say, "Of course, he's much stronger than me too, as he is the reincarnation of my father. And he will basically be strong enough to, one day he'll be strong enough to overthrow me. To basically take over my place as the 13th and most strongest god." As he'd then say, "Yes, Lord Kurama. The gods had sensed a powerful signature of chakra and of energy coming from here, so they sent me to come here." And she'd then say, right this way. They will want to, and of course, they will want to see you and your son, so right this way. As he would then basically spin his staff around, as he would then create a portal, as Kurama and Naruto would walk in the portal. As that is where I'm ending this off. Hope y'all enjoyed this part of what if Naruto was transport and was brought to the Kung Fu Panda world. Hope y'all enjoyed. Peace, and tell me who the ship should be. As I said, it is not Kaguya, but I am thinking of a Otsutsuki girl. Maybe like that, or maybe like this, or maybe the ship should be a OC. Of a Kung Fu Panda OC, or maybe it should be a goddess. Your choice, and yeah, goodbye.